Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Hey, my name is Anthony Moreland and my partner in crime, Michelle. We do this call every Wednesday to come and just share nuggets that we're working on in our business that's helped us out from experiences or things that we're trying right now to help you be better in your business. I love the model that we have in New Age. We just want to be disruptive by design. Well, let's be disruptive in our own businesses. So we're going to kick it off this Wednesday. And always remember, if you're watching a recording, you can always come join us live on Wednesday mornings, same time every Wednesday. That'll be 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific. And then you could just put it in whatever time zone you're in. You could come join us though. But today we wanted to dive on in. I'm gonna go ahead and kick things off here. And we wanted to dive on in, and my portion I want to get with everybody is uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. I don't know if I asked everybody what they like to be uncomfortable. A lot of people are like, no, nobody's gonna want to raise their hand. Nobody likes to feel uncomfortable doing anything, whether it's something out their comfort zone, like making a call or following up with somebody, because that's one of my worst ones to do. Is like the most uncomfortable thing, because I feel like I'm a salesman. I feel like I'm too pushy to some people. But let me tell you this. Let me take you back a little bit. And I just think back my journey when I first started in network marketing. I was 21, going on 22 years old, and I had never done network marketing in my life. And I got introduced to Limu, and all these new concepts started to come about. And I was like, man, that's what car salesmen do. I don't like that. I don't want to have to follow up with nobody. And then I realized that everything in life, you have to be a salesman. So if you don't like to sell, well, get used to it. Get uncomfortable being a salesman, because you sell every single way. And I use Michelle as an example. Her husband had to sell her that he was the perfect fit for her. Melissa, I see you on here. Andrew had to sell you that he was the perfect husband for you before you even said I do. See, he had to sell you who he was. He didn't tell you he liked to sleep with no socks on. He didn't tell you he didn't like to do none of this. We don't tell you the bad stuff, just like women don't tell you. Hey, nobody tells you the bad stuff. They just tell you, they sell you on who they are. And then you either as a person say yes or no to it. And so that is why I said, you know what? I had to realize that no, I'm not just qualified. I'm not, called a salesman, but I do have to understand what sales are. And so do you. So what I can highly suggest for you is go grab a book or listen to some audios on what salespeople do, so you can kind of tweak it so you won't mess up or like feel like a salesman to your friends, because that's what I did. I wanted to learn what salesmen were doing so I can kind of tweak it so I won't be so pushy, but I can still get the job done. Because at the end of the day, the only way to make money in this business is two ways: finding customers and finding brand partners. If you want to make money, you have to find customers or you have to find brand partners. Well, how do you do that? Well, you got to be uncomfortable. You got to do things that you never have done before. For me, I am a people person, but picking up the phone and inviting them to come hear about something, that was one of my hardest things ever. That was one of the hardest things ever, because I never was like, hey, could you, I got all nervous and stuff. But what I realized was, just be uncomfortable and do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Just do it. Just pick up the phone and do it. And you're going to get better over time. And that's all I can tell you is, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's like going to the gym. It's like losing 5 pounds. It's not nothing comfortable about losing any amount of weight, whether it be 5 pounds, 20, 50, or 100. It doesn't matter. I see Mr. Runny on here. Mr. Runny lost a great amount of weight. And I can tell you, if I ask him, he's going to say it was not easy. It was probably something that he had to go through all these trials and tribulations. But guess what? He feels better as a human being now because of it. See, uncomfortable is going to lead you to all the things that you desire, all the things that you dream of, all those goals you want to achieve. I see TL on here as well. TL, and her business had done multi-millions. Was it comfortable? Probably not. Was it things that they never done before that they like, hey, you know, I got to make this call. I got to ask this person to do this. I got to train. For me, public speaking was, I was never like talking in front of people. I'm like, what if I mess up? And then I realized like, if you mess up, you mess up. Guess what? People don't care. People just want to know your heart. And see, I just had to realize that, like, okay, I just keep being uncomfortable over and over and over. It's just like working out. It's just like following up. If you don't like doing it, then do it. I don't like going live on Facebook and Instagram. I be feeling nervous and feeling like people talking about me, but I do it anyway now. Last 2 days, I just heard Jessie Lee. She was putting her foot on my throat the other day in this accelerator program, and she was just like, you know what, y'all, we overthink things. But she said something that hit me, and I said, you know what, I want that for our company. I want people like that in our company. And she said that it's 15 days in a month. At that time, it was 15 days already into this month, and she's already personally had 100 people buy from her. And I was like, what? Man, that's over 10 people. That's almost over 10 people a day, almost, or close to 10 people a day that she personally put in her company. And I was like, okay, I could do that then. Well, I just got to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. Go live, multiple devices, and just do it. And she was like, just do reels. Quit having all these excuses of why you can't do something. Google is the answer to a lot of questions. Also, she was just teaching us all types of things. Well, I don't know what to talk about. Well, what kind of questions would you like asked to you? Write those down and go live on those. And that's a whole nother subject. Maybe I'll talk about that with you guys, some tips that, matter of fact, I'll put that on my agenda next week to give you the tips that she gave us. So we can utilize that on social media. But she was just like, be uncomfortable. She's like, when she first got started, and I think back when I first got started, I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to make a call. I didn't know how to do a presentation. I didn't know how to do a follow-up. I didn't know the objections that was going to come. I didn't know anything. But I just did it over and over and over and over. And I was just I had got to the mindset, well, I don't like to do that, but it's okay. I'll do it anyway, because I know being uncomfortable is how you get to the great things that you want in anything in life. I don't care what it is in life. Most kids don't like to go to practice, but they love to play in the game. Most people don't like to go to practice. Practice, you like practice? Why I go to practice? I just want to play in the game. But you only get better by going to practice, doing the uncomfortable things. And see, that is what you got to do in your business. You don't like to make calls? Well, make more of them. You don't like going live on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok or any of these social media platforms? Well, do more of them. You don't like to follow up? Well, do more follow-up calls. Because everything you don't like to do is what's holding you back from having greatness in your business. Point blank, period. There's no more sugarcoating it. There's no more, hey, you still get a participation grade. No, there's none of that. Either you're going to do it or you're not. So either you're going to watch other people have success, or you're going to be the person that says, you know what? I'm drawing a line in the sand, and I'm going to do everything that makes me feel uncomfortable, because that is where you go and become, a founder. That's where you go and become those higher ranks. See, a lot of us, we can play around. See, a lot of times you can kind of play around and get to certain levels in the company, certain titles. Most companies have little small ranks and titles that you can get to by just playing around. But to go to that next level, you're going to have to buckle down on being uncomfortable. Everything's not going to work out the way you thought. There's going to be people walk away from your business that you thought would always be there. There's going to be companies that merge with other companies. Trust me, we here at New Age, we have been through that. So we know. We had Limu come over. We had Nucerity come on over. So we had all these companies that was coming from different, backgrounds, but you got to be uncomfortable, because that is where great things at. And I promise you, here at New Age, we're all thankful for what has come, because we have more opportunity now. At first, we was all nervous and like, man, what's going on? You know, this is my baby, and is it getting taken away from me? And no, see, we had to get used to being uncomfortable. And our owners here, that's what they're used to. They're used to being uncomfortable. They're used to trying new things. They're used to going out and just, hey, well, we've never done that before, but let's try it out. Let's see what we got. Write it down on paper. The problem. What is the problem? And then figure out what solutions can you put around it? How can we figure that out? How can we get past that? So I'm a little all over the place because uncomfortable is something that you can hit from different angles. But what I can tell you this is, if you get good at being uncomfortable, you can achieve anything you want. Any physical goal, any financial goal, any spiritual goal, because everything, I mean, even walking by faith it can be uncomfortable at times. Well, matter of fact, all the time, because sometimes you're like, whoa. So you want me to believe that that's still going to get done? But I'm believing in things I cannot see. So it's the same way with your business. You just got to believe it and go for it. It's going to be uncomfortable. Those calls they don't get any easier. The phone still works. It still weighs 10,000 pounds. Trust me. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. You just get better at it, and you're going to get nervous, but it's all right. Just be honest with people and share your heart. So I'm going to pass it on over to my partner in crime. I know she has some great topics. I'm about to get my pen and paper ready because I'm going to grab my nuggets today. Hope y'all got value from my part. And Michelle, it's all yours, my friend.
Well, thank you, Ant. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I missed y'all last week. We were both sick. I still have a little bit of the voice thing going on, but getting there, getting better for sure, which is awesome. Some things that I've learned in the last week is that we have some of the greatest products on planet Earth, and they help the immune system and they do great things for the body. And germs and sickness are still out there, and we are still human, and we can still get sick. But you know what? We have great things to help support us to get through that, hopefully faster and better. So, it was actually a learning thing for me this past week with what we have and what we offer people, because we had not been sick for almost 2 years. And it almost in a way felt like this crushing of my business that I just got sick. Do I have any credibility left? And I went, you know what? Yes, I do. Because we don't ever say that we prevent anything, right? We don't ever say that we cure or treat anything. But what we do have is tools to help people support their bodies. And so for me, it was a little bit of a mental shift this week where I went, okay, the way I was looking at my business, at our products, at what we have to offer people, maybe the slant that I had on it wasn't quite right. Guess what? What happened last week with me getting sick, that made me a little uncomfortable. I was like, oh, I don't feel good about that. But then I figured out a way to find a different focus, to realize that that's not the end of the world. In fact, I feel like it reaffirms what we do. And sometimes as we're learning new things in our business and as we're finding our rhythm and our lane that we work in, sometimes we'll find something that works really well for a little while, and then something shifts and changes, and we need to learn to shift and change with that. And in doing that, you're not failing, you're not necessarily coming up short, you're just learning new tools and learning ways to adapt. And Ant, you talked about the sales aspect of this business, and there's absolutely a sales component to it. Like, we connect people with products that they have the ability to purchase, and that in and of itself is a sales process. But what I have learned myself in business with my photography business, and it applies to this, truly, it applies to any position where you're providing a product or a service to people, is that when we are passionate about helping others, when we come at this from the perspective of, I have something I believe in, something that I really think can help you, and we can help people to see the value in it for them. We can help them to see how is what I have here going to benefit you. And when we come at it from the heart of adding value, of educating, of serving, the sales component becomes secondary. It's almost a byproduct of it. When our heart is to serve, when our heart is to help people learn, to educate them, to add insight and knowledge and value to their life, where they can look at what we're presenting and go, oh, I want that in my life. I want what you have to offer. Then they have made a purchasing decision without you ever having to feel like you're being salesy, because nobody likes that salesy feel, right? Nobody wants to be perceived that way. But I'm here to tell you that millions and millions of people around the world put food on their table because their profession requires from them the ability to make a sale, to bring about a transaction. And there's people who do it well, and there's people who don't. But I think where we can do it well is to come at it with a different heart set, where we say, my job is to educate you on what we have, on what's out there, on how this can benefit your life, and what I think that it could do for you. It's not about me. It's not about making that transaction. It's about providing service, right? And when we do that and do it well, the sales part happens on its own. It's kind of like oh, okay, well, how do I get that? It's almost like a byproduct where they're all of a sudden ready, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, let me get you a link. Let me get you started. Let me get you signed up. And so as I see we've got quite a few new people on our call this morning that are on my team, and welcome to you guys. I'm glad you're here today. And it's good to see that our call is growing. And so as people are new and getting started, like, there's a lot of this that can be uncomfortable, and it's new, and it's something that maybe we haven't ever done before. Maybe this is a totally different industry. Maybe we've come from one professional track and we're switching over here, and there's no similarity whatsoever. And so that's a hard thing, right? To make those changes. But I will say that the more you tap into that decision of, what, this is new, it doesn't feel great, I'm not super comfortable with all of this yet, but I'm just going to do it. When you accept that that's going to be a process, and there's going to be some discomfort with it, or, not feeling like you're on top of, like you're on your game, especially if you've been accustomed to being very highly competent in your profession before this, or what you do alongside this, being willing to suck at something new is a very important attribute or characteristic, right? Where we can say, I'm not great at this, but I'm going to do it and do it and do it until I get good at it. That is something that will serve you very well here in this field. And as we do that, and we challenge ourselves to get out of that comfort zone where, we're talking to people, we're learning about the products, we tried presenting it one way and that didn't feel so great, so let me try it a different way next time. And we're learning about what works well, and we're learning also from what didn't work so well, but pushing ourselves to grow and to become better each time. As we do that, we're going to start seeing results. And when we see those results, yes, applaud yourself. You stepped out of your comfort zone. You did it well. and someone, you served someone, you added value, you presented them with something that they said, I want that. How do I get that? And you help them to get started. Well, now there's a whole new chapter of stepping out of your comfort zone. And that's with helping them get started correctly, with onboarding, with plugging them in, because you've stepped out of your comfort zone to pick up the phone and call, to reach out and talk to people, to invite them to take a look. And now they've got started. And now what do we do? Right? And so we're going to take that being uncomfortable in the reaching out aspect of things and the presenting aspect of things, and I'm going to shift that a little bit towards the plugging in side of things, because now is where it really becomes important. You have taken on that challenge. We've said, I'm going to be uncomfortable and talk to people, and now we've got new people coming in. And sometimes I've been guilty of this, and I'm working on getting better. My habit has been, yes, I got them in, I got them started. And I'm still working on, overcoming and reaching out and talking to people. And then the next thing I know, it's been a couple months and I haven't talked to that person. And I go, oh no, I didn't mean to forget about them, but I didn't keep them connected and keep them plugged in. And so as we help people to choose the things that are going to make a difference in their life, and we show them how to get started with a healthier lifestyle, and show them the ways to begin to earn an income here, it's important that we're also challenging ourselves to step out of our comfort zone in building those relationships, in staying connected and plugged in, and helping people know where do I go for resources, for answers. And so we're growing and we're developing it. In the beginning, when we're brand new, we're just trying to get up the courage to pick up that phone and make a phone call. Like, that's kind of the big thing in the beginning, right? And then as we progress, we have our upline and our leaders who are helping us, showing us how to present, giving us words and verbiage for how to, reach out and, have tools to overcome that fear. And now we've got people who've joined us, and we want those people to stick and to stay, because it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of outpouring of your heart, of your knowledge, of your time to help somebody get started. And we don't want to waste that effort, right? So as we get them in, I'm going to put in the chat here in just a minute. I did a sheet, and if you guys are on the Monday night call, you've probably seen this. If you weren't, I'll put it in the chat for you guys. But I did an onboarding sheet to hopefully make that process simple, that we can, connect people with the right information. And that's one of those things, like tools are really helpful in helping us get past those points of out of my comfort zone. Like, if I don't have the knowledge, that the head knowledge about a product, I'm going to refer to a tool, and I'm going to send that tool to a contact so that I'm learning with them. I don't have to be the expert, but I have resources that can help me to grow. And using things that you can lean on in that process, it's going to, give a professional image where you have a high quality professional tools to deliver. And now you know where to go to access them, and you can help somebody else access them as well. And so this is a process, and it's a little bit like like my kids like to play with that slime, the kind of goop that it kind of stretches and it moves, and it's never like a sphere where it's all round and smooth, or it's not a linear growth, right? It can be kind of messy sometimes as we're growing through this process. But you might grow by leaps and bounds in the reaching out, and then you feel like your slime is dripping down here, where you're not doing so great with the connection and the follow-up with people. And so, we're going to grow in non-linear ways in the different aspects of our business. But what's important is just that we, continue to make that decision that says, okay, this is not something I feel super confident in. I don't feel great at this aspect. So that's what I'm going to work on this week or this month. Today, I'm going to take action steps to become better at that. And there's a quote that I love, and it's specifically focused on the fitness world, but I think it applies here too. It says, it doesn't get easier, you get stronger. It doesn't get easier, you get better. Your skills improve, right? So the challenge this week is just to choose to embrace those things that are outside your comfort zone. Maybe focus on one aspect, if it's something that's big, or if you're new, just focus on picking up that phone and calling people, right? And we can say, I'm starting something new. I'm so excited about it. I don't know how it's going to affect my body yet, but I have, a strong belief that it's going to be great. What would you like to do it with me? Would you like to try it with me? Like, I'm excited. I think this is going to be awesome. Let's do it together. And that's one of the most powerful ways that we can do that. And sometimes if you're new, you can reach out to somebody and say, I'm excited about something new I'm starting, and you're someone I really value and respect. And I'm a little nervous. If we're being real, I'm kind of nervous. I've never really talked to people about it before. You're kind of a safe space to me. Would you be willing to listen? Probably not something you're interested in. That's totally cool. But would you be willing to listen so that I can just practice, help me get some of my nerves out? And most people are going to say, yeah, absolutely. And then you just might find that as you do that, as you go through that process, and you've asked for some grace and some support to just give you a safe space to practice and learn, those people are like, well, I know I said I was just listening to help you, but I'm kind of interested. Oh, there we go, right? That's the goal. That's the goal of getting uncomfortable and getting outside of your safe zone. So, Aunt, I'll give it back to you to close this out if you had anything else that you wanted to add into that. But let's just commit to being uncomfortable this week and take action steps.
Yeah, getting uncomfortable. So for all the new people, welcome. You started something that can be a complete blessing to you and your family. We've watched it bless people from all different walks of life all around the world. And there's no better company than the one you joined, which is New Age. I'm a little biased for all the people watching on YouTube and watching the recording that likes our everything. Hey, no, but we do have a great company. And there's all amazing companies out there. Find something that works for you and go for it. But, I love leaving off with challenges. And so I got challenged to do this. One by Fraser Brooks and one Mac is on here. We got challenged by Jesse Lee. So we got challenged. And our challenge, and the challenge to us was just from the social media standpoint, which was Facebook and Instagram and going live and doing reels. But my challenge for you is, if you're brand new, I want you to find one thing that makes you so uncomfortable and do it for the next 30 days. So if you're brand new and you don't like to invite, I want you just to invite 2 people a day. I just want you to pick up the phone and just say, hey, do like Michelle said, and ask, can you practice? Ask, can they just come hear what you have? And for all of us that's been in for a while, what makes you uncomfortable? Is it following up? Is it, writing people's name down? And you got this chicken list that makes you uncomfortable, you don't want to call? Find something that makes you uncomfortable in this business and do it for the next 30 days. That's my challenge for everybody, because I promise you, after 30 days of doing it, you'll come back here and you'll say, well, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You know what? It's not that bad. So that's my challenge for everybody, though. But I want you to feel it for yourself. So I want you to find one thing in it, because everybody has something that makes them uncomfortable in this business. Inviting, following up, presenting. If you have If you have trouble presenting, well, okay, I need you to find 1 to 2 people every day. Just say, hey, I need to practice on somebody because I stink at presenting and I want to get better, and whatever you want to tell them. Like if Mac was my friend and I knew I wasn't good at presenting, I remember I used to tell my teammates, I used to be like, hey, just come by my house. I got something I want to show you at halftime of the football game. And I used to suck at it. But I realized that they were more interested than I thought they were. I just wanted to get better. But so you just we all have those friends and we all have those family members. If you don't want to bug your family about joining you on this venture, well, that's fine. Just ask them to practice on them. And you'll be surprised at some of the results you'll get. Hey, you guys, we hope you got value from this. And if you did, feel free to share the recording with anybody that you want to and invite them to come join us on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, we're going to be here. We're going to come drop, 30, 35 minutes of nuggets that we're working on that can help you, things that's on our heart, that's on our mind. Really, for us, we love to say God put it on our heart and mind because that's who we never really know. And we just text each other and we be like, yeah, that's it. I like that. I like that. So God works in mysterious ways, and he's always working with us. So, hey, you guys, y'all have a great and blessed day. We love y'all, and I'm going to unmute the line so y'all can tell Michelle how awesome she is because she really is the best of the best.